Good morning.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Hello.
So, first thing on, let's kick everything off with a strawberry daiquiri.
Thanks for having me back.
You're welcome. Film 5, can you believe that now?
We're doing well, aren't we?
Film 5.
We've not missed one yet.
No, cracking. Enjoyed last time, Beetlejuice, having never seen it before, as we know. So I've tried to choose one that's slightly different to the genres we've watched so far.
I thought of this on the way in the car. Right? I'm going to guess it without you even giving me any clues.
Really?
Obviously, I'm not going to get it, but I thought it could be fun.
Oh, you joke? You'll never get it.
I reckon 7 by David Fincher.
Oh, I have thought about that. I haven't chose that, but what made you think of that?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I just thought
that think ahead.
That'll be one that comes up, and I thought it could be the time. You know, because when we've done horror, we've done
I have gone thriller. Yeah, thriller. So clues then. Yeah, good guess though, because I'll tell you something. I must have changed my mind about 5 times just today on what to watch. It's crazy, isn't it? Cheers.
That's sweet.
I do like a strawberry daiquiri.
Very sweet.
So, year of release 1997. Okay, thriller. Starring Kurt Russell. Okay, not sci-fi or anything like that. Just standard thriller. And also an actor called J.T. Walsh, who sadly now passed away, and in fact this was the last film he made while he was still alive. Okay, you'll recognise him when you see him. Okay, it's like a road movie type thriller.
Right. Who's the director?
Jonathan Mostow. He's the guy who then after this went on to do the could have been better Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, but ruined it because he put loads of jokes in. However, he didn't ruin this. I like this.
I don't know.
Right, good, because I'm really hoping you ain't seen it.
Right.
That's what I've chosen. I'm trying to choose films you ain't seen. So this is a film called Breakdown.
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Wicked. So when you watch it, I want you to imagine that you're Kurt Russell. I mean, that's not so far from the truth, is it? And I want you to imagine that his wife is Claire.
Right, okay. So don't say yes or no, but I'm assuming they're driving a car with his wife and they break down and then stuff happens, but we'll soon find out. In fact, I hope stuff happens, or it'd be a bit of a shit movie.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what then, because you just summed up the entire film. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, I'm gonna change the movie.
Yeah. So, Breakdown.
Breakdown?
That's what it's called, yeah.
Oh,
right,
okay.
Don't, you know.
I thought you were going to break down even further.
Okay.
Right, okay.
Well, I mean...
No, that's it. Completely fresh. I'm looking forward to seeing a film I've never seen before.
Good. That's what I'm trying to do, actually. I'm trying to choose films that I know I like, that I think you might not have seen.
Oh, okay.
That's where I'm going at the moment. Might completely change my mind next week and pick Jurassic Park, but you know, it is what it is. But honestly, I've chose 5 different films in my head, and I only made my final decision at about 6 o'clock. So there you go. Right, here we go. Breakdown. Kurt Russell. Wah!
See you in a bit.
Bye.
Well, Mr. Gavin.
Well, Mr. Drizzle. So at the start of that, I said, try and imagine that you're Kurt Russell and his wife is Claire. Now that you've seen it, would you have been able to have done all the things that he did to get Claire back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then some. Would you have been able to have climbed underneath a truck going at 60 miles an hour and thread your way? I know I couldn't. I'd have fallen off because I'm fat.
No.
So
But I would have stayed under, clinging on, hoping that I had enough strength. Yeah.
would you have been able to have cut yourself? Would you have had the cleverness to have found that knife, stuck it up your sleeve, and then cut yourself free and beaten up the guy and taped him all down?
I wouldn't have been able to beat him up, no. But he was like quite an impressive, intimidating guy, wasn't he?
Big guy.
They cast him really, really well.
He was a big guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, if you're like looking for a bit of muscle, in an underground kind of network. Yeah, you'd go to him, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I suppose I would start really by asking you what you thought, because I know you've never seen that. So, well, I'm guessing now you've seen it. Is that right? You've never seen it?
I hadn't seen it. I'd never heard of it. No.
Okay.
You know, I've got a penchant for that kind of movie from that era, and I don't know if it's to do with our age or what, but I've noticed you have as well. So the last film we watched around here, Rambo.
Yeah, First Blood.
It's kind of like out in the sticks, as it were, in America.
Yeah.
Some guy ends up having to run into the wilderness and try and survive out in the wilderness, then comes across a little town. You know, very similar in a way.
Yeah, quite. I've not thought of it like that, but yes, yeah. Because you were saying that you got excited when you saw, where was it you said that?
It's in Arizona, and a lot of it was shot around Monument Valley.
Oh, that was it, yeah.
Which is, you quite often recognise it in like spaghetti westerns and things, that kind of area. And the road they were on, I think it's Route 66.
Route 66, a very famous route, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. We stayed there for a few days, and it's an amazing location.
And at one point you said you even said you think that you've been down that particular road. That's right?
Yeah, I mean, there's only one road that goes to Monument Valley.
Just literally one road in, one road out.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
Well, it goes past. Yeah, it's a long. You know, I think that's why it's Route 66, which is obviously a road that goes right through the middle of America.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like really
Get
long
your
road.
kicks on Route 66. That's the song.
Exactly. Yeah, and it is like it's shown in the film. It's interesting, isn't it, watching American films, because they've got like a completely different rule book they can play with. So you've got this road that you can literally travel for 50, 60 miles and you don't see anything.
Yeah.
And if you did break down, you would be absolutely screwed. And it's also interesting, like that kind of situation that they were in. It'd be completely different if you broke down now. I mean, you've got sat nav, you've got your phone. You know, you've got completely different ways of dealing with this situation. It was only like 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
20 was it 97? So what's that? 22 years? 23
25.
years? 25 years. I mean, yeah, when he got his phone out of the car.
That would have cost a fortune at the time.
Yeah, you know, like a proper satellite phone, wasn't it? And then the kids playing Doom as well.
Wow.
I was like, oh, that's really interesting. What's he playing? I could hear it. I was 97. Would it be a PS1? Well, I think they were around in 90s. No, they weren't, were they?
I think it literally came out in 97, you know.
He was playing Doom there, and that was quite exciting. We got quite excited. We got quite excited a couple of little bits there.
Wow.
We saw a camera tripod in the bad guy's loft as well, and we both got excited at that too. Yeah. You got excited for different reasons, because you said the spikes on the end could be used as a weapon.
Poke him in the eye with that.
And so for me, I mean, that's probably the fourth time I've seen that, and it always feels very Hitchcockian to me in a lot of ways, and not so much the ending, because I mean now there's a bit more of a bigger Hollywood type sort of ending, but starting with this when you mentioned as well, and I totally agree with you, like the effort that goes into the opening credits. If you get really cool opening credits in a film, it kind of kicks things off really well. I mean, modern day films that do it now, the biggest ones, of course, which have always done it, have been Bond.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the masters of that. But if you think about thrillers, Alfred Hitchcock's films, every time, you know, the opening credits for all of those are...
Yeah, I assume you just mean the opening credits. I wouldn't say the films like didn't remind me of Hitchcock at all, but certainly the opening credit.
Opening credits, yeah, for sure.
The vibe did.
And the score as well.
I suppose the setup and the score. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I think out of all the movies we've watched so far, that was the score that impressed me the most. Maybe, you know, you're not going to have it on your car stereo. You're going to be humming it. No. But just the way it played with your emotions, and the separation was stunning on your 5.1 surround, so you could always hear the dialogue really clearly.
Dialogue was crystal clear, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was some of the best I've ever heard,
yeah.
Which is really bizarre, because it's just like a little low-budget film from like the late 90s. And in your surround sound, you could hear these like tom drums banging in your ear with some strings in the mid space, and it was really impressive.
It was the strings more than anything that reminded me of kind of like a Hitchcock type score, at least, you know. That kind of sort of feel.
I mean, I think the first like quarter of an hour was a bit like Hitchcock, but the story wasn't. This isn't a diss on the film. It was
no.
The story was nowhere near as clever as like a Hitchcock film, but the story, I love the story. It's basically like me and you, if we were drunk in a pub and all we had was a beer mat, we could write that whole script on a beer mat.
Yeah.
Literally. But the execution
was, in my opinion, top notch.
Yeah, I'm amazed I've never heard of it. It was,
it's not that it didn't do big bucks. There are a lot of people that haven't seen Breakdown. It didn't do massive bucks at the box office. Again, because it's the film I'm putting on, it gives me the chance to maybe have a look at a couple of things just out of interest. Cost 30 million in 97 to make, so you're right, it's not a huge budget. It grossed 56 before going on to, sort of 97 would be video. Yeah, video. Video. You'd go to Blockbusters, wouldn't you, to get Breakdown? So, I mean, it wouldn't have made an awful lot of money, but I don't know what was out at the time when it came out. I don't know why it got missed over. I didn't see it at the cinema. I missed it at the cinema. Came and went for me. I caught it on video when I first saw it.
Right. I suppose, it wouldn't have had a big marketing budget either then, would it?
Wouldn't have thought so.
But it's not really a film that I'd imagine would be big at a cinema. Was it like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and stuff like that around?
Yeah, that kind of thing,
So, it's got a vibe of a TV movie, a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, you know what it reminds me of, TV movie-wise? Jewel. Steven Spielberg's first film with the guy in the car who's being chased by a juggernaut, and you never get to see the driver. It's just, and you never really find out why either. He just permanently. Jewel is like Jaws, but whereas Jaws is the shark. In this film, it's a juggernaut. It's really, really interesting sort of thing. But it was his first sort of big film. And it kind of reminds me of that, even though this Breakdown's obviously much bigger budget and Jaws a lot older, but similar sort of environment and that sort of thing. So yeah, I know what you mean because you said that with First Blood too, had a TV movie kind of vibe, with the way it was shot maybe and some of the stuff it was doing. I mean, I like the shots were quite inventive. Some of them I thought.
No, it was really well pieced together. The shots are really nice. They're really explanatory about exactly what was happening, like even little action pieces that it would cut to like a close-up of a hand grabbing a gun or something, but it was done, the timing of it was absolutely lovely that you didn't really notice. It was just letting you know exactly what's happening and where the pieces were on the board, you know what I mean, and who had the power, who had the weapons,
fluid,
where everyone was. You never got confused about that. I loved it. I feel like I've got quite a lot to say about the film, which is
nice.
Which is good, because I know last one when we watched Beetlejuice, I felt like I didn't have anything to say about it.
That's just me. Beetlejuice. Yeah, okay.
But this, I do feel like I've got quite a lot to say about it. I think. I'm very impressed.
What did you think to? Because I've shown this to a few years ago. A friend of mine watched it, and they liked it right up to the ending, but they didn't like the ending, and I was like, oh, that's a shame, because for me, the fact that it goes big and bold at the end without
the car chase.
The truck on the bridge and that sort of stuff. I didn't mind it at all. I thought it built up to a nice climax, and I think that was a good, strong way to finish. But they were saying that they quite liked the fact that it was low key up to that point, and they would have preferred something a bit low key to finish.
I guess it felt a bit surprising. Yeah, all these cars like crashing through trains and stuff and exploding everywhere, and it was a bit more blockbustery kind of ending.
Yeah, bigger. Yeah.
hadn't really picked up on it too much.
Didn't mind it then?
I didn't mind it. I know what your friend means. It's kind of like, let's blow all the budget. And I'm like,
how much we got left? Well, we've still got of our 30 million. Oh, we actually only spent 5. In that case, then let's blow some shit up.
It might have been slightly better if it was just the guy in the truck chasing them. And I like the bit on the whole bridge and them fighting on there.
So here's an interesting thing then, and I only picked up on this, but the director Jonathan Mostow, I don't know if it was his next film, but certainly in his filmography, he went on to do Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Okay,
right.
So in that film, he does a lot with a car chase where she's controlling other vehicles, and he's in a. It's a really good scene, and it's one of the better scenes in a film that. Has really good stuff in it, but is ruined by other bits. But that's for a different day. But you can totally see where he's gone. Oh yeah, I know how to do that. I know how to direct that sort of thing and so because in some ways there was bits in that breakdown where you could have like lifted it off of the page and put it in Terminator 3 based on the stunts that they do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I love again. I love the fact they're actual proper stunts as well.
Yeah, I was trying to work out if it was when he went into the ravine down into the water. I assume that's a stuntman because that was really dangerous. But even when he came to shore and he was getting out, that kind of rockery and stuff is really sharp and dangerous.
Yeah, when he jumped out the back of the car as well. When Kurt Russell jumps out there, and that's Kurt Russell jumping out of there, and they were rocks, weren't they?
There's no way they'd let a lead. Do stuff like that. Even Tom Cruise would because his stuff is like controlled, his stunts, so he's obviously really impressive.
And the water, although I know but you can see
a certain element of randomness in those stunts that you wouldn't let a lead actor do because you never quite know what's going to happen. So what are you going to say?
No, sorry, I was going to say about them in the water as well. When he's in the water, the rapids.
Yeah, that's the bit I was going to say that it's like surely that wasn't him. Surely not.
Well, it couldn't have been him in the big rapids, could it? No. But it was definitely him in some of the smaller stuff.
Yeah.
But his shirt looks a bit thicker, so you think, he's obviously got like a big vest on or something underneath his shirt.
But he was obviously in his physical prime. Was there a bit where he fell out of a car or something? I can't remember what he did.
Yeah.
But it was him. The shot didn't move. To cut to him, it was just him, and then he got up, and I was like, Jesus! If I tried that now. I'd bloody break my leg.
That's the bit I was talking about just now, actually, where he comes out of the boot and he gets pulled out of the boot and he falls down, and that's where the rocks on the ground were, and I thought, bloody heck.
Yeah.
I mean, in '97, Kurt Russell, he's a bit of a hero of mine. I don't know if he's the same for
I do love him because of Carpenter.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we both know him first and foremost, isn't it, really?
Probably.
I mean, in the 90s, what was he doing in the 90s? He beefed himself up to do Tango and Cash, didn't he, with Sylvester Stallone? Big buddy action film. I think as well, he did the follow-up to Escape from New York in the 90s, Escape from LA.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
That was in the 90s, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but yeah.
But it was nice, don't you think? And it's credit to him as an actor too, because you can, for big action movie stars, you can take some of their work for granted sometimes, I think. And then when they get given something that's a little bit more low-key, you get to really see what they're made of, what their chops are like, if you know what I mean. And it's really cool, the fact that we know him primarily, before seeing Breakdown, for doing big action roles where he's the guy, he's the man that you wouldn't sort of like look at because you'd be worried about getting put down, because he's the guy that's like, yeah. Whereas in this, right from the word go, as soon as he's in the garage putting petrol in, that guy comes over, you feel a bit worried for him, don't you? Because of the character that he's playing.
Yeah, and you don't ever think, if you really wanted to, he could just kick his ass. You don't think that. You fully believe in his character. He's obviously very invested in that character and planned it and thought it through and believed in it.
If he was dressed as Snake Plissken with a patch over his eye, you'd probably leave him alone. But
well, I don't know, that guy was uber scary.
He was massive. Yeah, he had a massive arse as well, didn't he? Really weird,
that was odd, that was.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell him.
That's your core. That's where strength comes from.
Oh, I must be really strong then. Oh no, you said arse, didn't you? Not stomach. Right, okay. Good advert for Jeep, I thought. The stuff he got that car to do.
Apart from the fact, they showed it breaking down, even though I thought that was the only thing I noticed was so the guy had, like they said you'd gone in to pay for your gas or whatever, and he'd done it, but they didn't show that on camera.
No,
but I thought that was a bit of a cheat. Obviously, they didn't need to show it, but they at least needed to show that he'd left his car. Do you know what I mean? To go in, to pay for it.
Yeah. Well, she went in, didn't she?
Yeah.
She went in. While she was gone, he was filling up. He saw the other guy filling up, and we never see them other than that, do we? So we don't know what happened prior. I guess that's the thing.
Yeah, we never see him away from the car.
No, so we can only assume that he went in to pay.
So for it to break down and then to pull that out, it was a bit of a cheat.
But
that is the only thing I picked up on in the whole movie.
Cool.
One thing I wanted to say about the movie that really impressed me was the pacing of it. So, got a few points. One, it was told in real time. It was shown in real time. Apart from when they had to travel, 100 yards down the motorway or whatever.
Yeah, that was really cool actually, because the sun actually comes up when he's in the barn and he's asking his wife, we laugh,
for breakfast.
Go and get breakfast on. Okay. But then the sun's coming up, and when he actually comes out of the barn with his wife, the sun is literally just coming up at that point. So yeah, that's cool as well.
The whole thing from when they were first driving along, the way the action. So you didn't have a moment where, say, I know a lot of stuff is kind of semi-real time, but say, for example, someone gets knocked out and then, 6 hours later they wake up. There was nothing like that. It was basically the action led on, everything led on from each other, and there was no gaps that weren't filled in.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good. I forgot what my other point was now.
Yeah. Okay. So, we talked about how fast paced it was as far as the editing goes, and how fluid it ran.
I've remembered now.
Yeah.
The other thing was, when I started watching it, I was like, right, this is a basic kind of premise. How are they going to fill a whole movie with this? I couldn't work out how they were going to fill a whole movie. So, she's gone missing. He's stuck in the middle of nowhere. Then where are they going to go from there to fill a whole movie? And it was really impressive how it actually unravelled. And that's what I mean about it all did it in real time.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Yeah.
I like the fact that at the start, when the trucker turns up, you really want him to stop and help them because of what the other guys do in the black car. And it's like, oh, okay, they're going to get some help now. And even you were going, she should go with him,
I did, didn't I?
Yeah. She should go with him, I mean, I'm thinking...
And she did.
Bloody did, shouldn't. But I don't know what's going to happen.
I even thought, when I said it, I thought, it's funny because, now, in, the year 2022, if my Claire was I'd trust it would be all right for her to go. But I was thinking, what in 1997, in the middle of America, is that safe? But I thought, no, it's not that long ago. But obviously it wasn't.
See, I guess the thing is, he got the fear of those other guys coming back. So he probably thought, she's probably going to be safer to go there, and I'll wait at the car in case they come back and damage my car and stuff. But I mean, would you do that now? If your mobile phone didn't work and you were stuck in middle America.
Well, I wouldn't. I'd just leave the car. I think most normal people would leave the car. But in terms of the movie, it wouldn't have made any difference anyway because they'd have
killed them both. Well, that's right. If he hadn't stayed with the car, they'd have killed them both.
Yeah, they would have just got him anyway to go to
get the money. Bang, bang.
And they even said that, didn't they?
They did.
In the movie, which was
that was a nice touch, actually.
Yeah.
J.T. Walsh saying it in the... we have to talk about J.T. Walsh a little bit. That was his final film. Did you recognise him at all from other things?
Oh, yeah.
He played those sort of sideline characters a lot in quite a few films and stuff. But I don't think he was particularly old when he died. And that was the last film that came out before he died. That was like the last film that was finished,
I recognise him a lot from he's played cops before, hasn't he?
He'd honestly done all sorts. And as you said, the guy who looked like the guy from Beverly Hills Cop, but the sheriff, or policeman actually, but he's the guy in Cliffhanger, who's the FBI guy who turns rogue. Don't know if you remember that at all, but yeah, and he crops up in a few things too. It's quite a nice little cast actually.
The cast was really good. You know, the younger guy with blonde hair, long blonde hair.
Yeah,
he was good, and I've recognised him from a few things. But I did wonder, like, you know, when they were back at the diner and he was washing the car and he was acting a bit simple. I couldn't really work out the point of why he was acting really simple.
Because what he did was he pretended to act simple. And he deliberately let slip that he knew his wife was, wink wink nudge nudge, because he sent him up that road.
Right.
And he sent him up that road because it was the dead end.
To get him out of the way of the...
Told the other guys to follow him with the guns.
Got it.
That's why he did it. That's why when you next see him, he's not simple anymore.
Yeah.
He's just talking. So he was acting all the time.
Cool.
Clever. Clever, really.
It's funny because not you feel like not much happened in the movie, but if you stopped paying attention, you'd miss all the way everything's linked together. And that's why I couldn't work out why he was acting simple, because I didn't have time to think about it in my head. Why was he acting like that? Because there was never a dull moment in it, even though you could have read, like I say, written the whole thing on the back of a matchbox or whatever.
What was it like when he meets the trucker, gets him to pull over, and the trucker gets out of the car and just starts acting as though
that was crazy. And he had glasses on as well, didn't he? He put them like wide brim glasses on and stuff. And I was like, what is it? Is his brother or something? What was going on here? I mean, I knew it was the same guy, but really, really well done. And the acting was so... Yeah, that's what I like, the real time thing. The next time you watch it, try and remember what I'm saying about how everything's done in real time. Yeah. Because that whole scene played out as if you were just a bystander actually watching it play out for real. You know, so him getting freaked out that the guy's pretending he doesn't recognise him, and the cop come in, and there's no like sharp cuts or like, you know, rushed dialogue or anything. It's almost like you're just a bystander watching something happen in front of you.
The whole film takes place over an afternoon, a whole night, into the morning.
I mean, the whole night is just him
hanging on to the lorry.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. So that's the only bit where they cut really a major amount of time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, defo. She's like the little Americano diner then, with the cactus outside.
Oh, beautiful, man.
In the middle of nowhere.
I'd love to go to a place like that.
In the middle of nowhere, and yet weirdly full of people. Playing pool and just shooting the breeze. And
when you could smoke indoors as well. The whole thing was really smoky and dirty looking. What was that woman puking?
Oh, I know. They set him up for that. It was horrible.
Why was she puking?
I don't know. Rednecks. No, sorry, I'm just kidding. No rednecks. That's not a red. We can't say rednecks. Blue necks.
Changing the subject.
Yes, quickly. Oh gosh, I was going to say something then.
Right, hold that thought. Until you remember. One thing I really like about the so your TV is like a really nice big 65-inch TV. It's absolutely lovely. It's high def, isn't it? It's not 4K. It's
not 4K.
1080p.
1080, yeah.
But like these older like this film, is it on Blu-ray? Is it?
No, DVD.
Right, it's a DVD. Oh, so it's not even high def. It's like
that was just a standard DVD.
Definition.
Yeah.
So you've got you know, back then they were on film. They were filming on film, and you've got all that film grain.
Yeah, still in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks beautiful, and you know, it really does. Like there's something warm feeling about watching that, isn't there? Mm-hmm. So it's not like digitally remastered, or they haven't got rid. You know, some digital remasters that they get rid of a lot of the grain and smooth and sharp and everything.
I like seeing old school.
It's a really real good sense of nostalgia and storytelling, you know. And it's like that thing, that spiritual thing about watching something on film compared to digital, and it had that. I mean, I didn't even realise it was standard definition. I thought it was high definition.
Really?
Yeah. But because it's so organic, you know, the film and the way, you know, the type of film it was shot on, just brings back that feeling of nostalgia, and it's quite soulful looking. So it doesn't have to be high definition, you know.
No, well, the thing is, it's like these days, for you and me anyway. I don't know about other people out there, but if I walk into a charity shop, for example, now, and I see DVDs and I see films that I really like on DVD that I don't have or whatever. going for like 3 for £1 or 50p. I'll snap the buggers up because I don't, well, we can remember making the transfer from video to DVD and thinking, oh my God, this is revolutionary. Look at the quality of this DVD. And spending 20 quid on a DVD and stuff like that. But now, I mean, even Blu-ray now selling in charities for £1, 2 quid and stuff because everything's streamed, of course. And don't get me wrong, streaming's brilliant because it makes it a lot easier for you to find what you want quite quick and easy and stuff. But yeah, nostalgia-wise, there was something about, wasn't there, hunting down for a film that you wanted to see and having to make an effort to go and see it. Or if you want to go back even further, back in the days when I started really getting into film, if I didn't go and see a film at the cinema and it came and went, that would be it. I wouldn't see it for about 3 or 4 years because it wouldn't come on TV until one of the 3 channels bought it and then put it on telly.
You'd have to be, what's on TV tonight then?
Yeah.
That's the only choice you had. What's on TV?
I mean, it's like getting videos. When my dad came home with a video player for the very first time because he'd had a win on the races, he bought the family we went for Betamax.
Oh dear.
Whoops. Anyway, but we
Better
got
quality.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, the VHS one. But anyway, he bought us Betamax, and I can remember renting, or they rented like the first Superman and Every Which Way You Can, and the whole family, and even like aunts and uncles at one point would all sit around the telly, like, because it's like, well, if this is revolutionary, we're seeing a film that's like, we didn't see it at the cinema, and it was only on the cinema like a year ago, and now here we are with it in our own home. Now, comes on the cinema, a month later, you're streaming it, and it's like, the good old days.
Yeah, it's a bit weird now. Like sometimes I'll sit down and I want to watch something, and I just can't feel the kind of joy of I don't know. There's a lot of souls disappeared. I've got Netflix up and Disney Plus and Prime and all this stuff with all these good things on there. There's good stuff on there. Yeah. But it's just like,
I find myself spending more time trying to decide what to watch now than actually watching something. And because
it's easy to turn off. Like, I'm on for half an hour and you think, but like, there's something like, so I've gotten back into vinyl and the big race. So at my house, you've not been to my new house yet. I've still got all my old DJ gear. So I've got my mixer. I've got a really nice record deck and some speakers and stuff, and a really expensive stylus, like audiophile quality. And me and my girlfriend, we've been buying records. We've only got like 25 albums, but you can take it out and you put it on. You listen to it from beginning to end. You turn it over and you listen to it. But, not non-skipping through like on Spotify or anything like that. And that's what I'm enjoying about what we're doing. So like, you've got a movie, you're going to sit down, you're going to watch it from beginning to end with no distractions, and it's a very organic process. That you can't get when you just like presented with like thousands of films on streaming and like.
And I mean, I'm guilty of this as well. If I'm watching something in my lounge and I've got things to do or whatever, I'll semi-watch it. But that's not doing it justice.
You're not watching it?
No, you can't really engage yourself.
No.
Unless you do something like this, like you say, and you're into it. Yeah. And with a film like that, like you said, you only got to miss a few things, and you're playing catch up, or you're thinking, well, how did they know that then, or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm really glad you enjoyed that, man.
Well done. Good pick. It'd be hard to think whether I could recommend it to people. Not because it's a bad film, but I think most people nowadays would struggle with that film. Because we're so used to watching like Mandalorian and House of Dragon and new Marvel movie and stuff and like
the age old thriller.
What kind of person would sit down and watch that and have the patience,
Would they make a film like that now? Have they made a film like that in the last year or two? Can you think of any?
Well,
thrillers that
you got stuff like Taken and things, haven't you?
Yeah, But they're more action, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're that kind of film, but there's no way they'd keep it so low key. They'd be trying to like throw like martial arts in there.
Yeah, make more action scenes, make it more.
Yeah,
not trust the story. Trust the story in it.
Yeah.
Well, like you say, it's simple but so well executed. Just great entertainment.
Yeah.
Keeps thinking.
Yeah, what's going to happen? Where's this going? Yeah.
Right, I suppose I'd better do my usual.
Oh, we're scoring, are we?
Yeah. Well, you never do. You always you get philosophical.
I do a summing up.
You do something. I say philosophical. You do a summing up. I'm going to give it a score because I can only count to 10. Just joking. I can count to 12. Can I go first?
I was waiting for you to go.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. No, okay, right. That's an 8 out of 10 for me. That one. Good thriller, well done, good cast. As I say, well executed. You're making me think about the cinematography more now when I'm watching films too. Actually, so I've got to give you a massive credit for that. And I did like the cinematography in that. Oh, it was really well done. And the score, solid 8.
I agree. To sum it up, I'd say it's a really good, tight piece of storytelling. I'd advise anyone that wants to study how to create a coherent pacing for a movie from beginning to end to watch it. Either as a writer or a filmmaker. It's a really solid lesson in how to make a believable journey for someone for an hour and a half. My summing ups are a bit pretentious.
No, not pretentious at all. Not pretentious at all. Mine are dumbed down.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'd watch it again. I'd say it's not like one of those. I probably would never buy it or have it in my top 50 movies ever. But it's now once you've seen it, to watch it again, you're like, right, let's see how they actually did it. How they actually kept that going for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
From like such a little simple premise to where you get to the end and study how they actually put it together. It's really good.
Oh, one thing I have to just remember I was going to say now. One thing, here's a cool tip for you, everybody. If you ever want to nick a car in America, if the door's already open, just drop the visor down because they all keep their keys.
Well, I think here's a tip. If you live in America, never go outside the house.
Yeah, because based on what we've seen,
wow,
it's just not safe. Well, listen, mate, I'm very much looking forward to your next choice. Glad you liked it. High five. Breakdown. Kurt Russell.
Peace, guys. See you next time.
See you next time on Margaritas. Man caves and margaritas.
Man caves and margaritas. And daiquiris.
And daiquiris.
Bye. Bye.